Test purpose: low voltage action characteristics of the high voltage circuit breaker. Test of action time: speed and stroke of the high voltage circuit breaker. Test time requirements. Test instrument use and precautions. This test uses the mechanical characteristic tester of high voltage circuit breaker. The switch mechanical characteristic tester currently used has the advantages of simple operation, convenient wiring, strong anti-interference ability, and fully automatic measurement process. It is suitable for the measurement of mechanical characteristics of various circuit breakers. Linear sensor. In the test, if it is necessary to accurately measure the action stroke of the switch, a linear sensor needs to be used. When installing the linear resistance sensor, ensure that the motion axis of the sensor can move in a straight line, and fix the sensor with a magnetic universal bracket. Internal trigger wiring mode. The wiring diagram of internal trigger control is shown in the figure. During field test, if the internal power supply of the instrument is used, the closing control line, the opening control line and the common line are connected to the internal trigger port of the instrument panel. The output of opens plus, closes plus, and generally be connected in front of the auxiliary switch contact. When wiring, pay attention to cut off the operating power supply of the high voltage switchgear to avoid the conflict between the two power supplies and damage the instrument. External trigger wiring mode. Using the external power supply, first connect the control line to the external trigger port of the instrument panel, and then set the parameters of the instrument and set the trigger mode to external trigger. The wiring mode is the same as that of internal trigger. The red line can also be connected to the closing coil, the green line to opening coil, and the black line can be connected to the common terminal. During the test, press the confirmed key in the characteristic test menu first and then do the closing or opening action of the circuit breaker to collect the data. Before wiring, users should carefully analyze the wiring diagram of the control panel of various high-voltage switches. Taking SF6 high-voltage circuit breaker as an example, the wiring and operation of mechanical characteristic test of high-voltage circuit breaker are introduced. Safety precautions. Taking closing as an example, it is enough to add the output voltage of the instrument to both ends of the closing coil during the low voltage test. Turn on the switch of the high voltage switch mechanical characteristic tester and select the low voltage test item. Set the output voltage to 66 volts. The requirement for low voltage is that it cannot operate under 30% of the rated voltage. So the output voltage starts from 66 volts and increases gradually until the minimum voltage value for circuit breaker action is determined. The opening low voltage test is similar to this, except that the output voltage needs to be added to both ends of the opening coil, and the low voltage test is over. Next, do the opening and closing time and speed test. Closing time. It refers to the time interval of the circuit breaker in the open position from the moment when the closing circuit is energized to the moment when all pole contacts are connected. Opening time. It refers to the time interval from the starting moment of circuit breaker opening operation to the moment of contact separation of all poles. Opening and closing speed. It refers to the moving speed of moving contact during opening and closing. Test wiring of closing time and speed. Start the test. Turn on the switch of the high voltage switch mechanical characteristic tester and select the closing time test item and press the OK key to view the results. Test wiring of opening time and speed. Start the test. Turn on the high voltage switch mechanical characteristic tester switch. Select the opening test and press the OK key to view the results. By comparison, the test results of opening and closing time and speed are in line with normal values. After the test, discharge and pack the equipment.